Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our meeting tonight. We want to thank you for taking the time out of a busy schedule, I'm sure, to listen to some information that we do believe can be life-changing. On behalf of Bessie Cooper Harris, the other regional vice president, we thank you and we appreciate you because I know you've had a busy day, a busy week. It's always something to do. We're living in a time now where everybody is looking for a way to generate more income. Around the country, you hear the word moonlighting, doing something on the side. And many people feel that because of what I do for a living, I really deserve and I need an increase. And I have to agree. School teachers need an increase. And they'll tell you what we do all day, every day, and what they pay us for what we do all day, every day, and then after school is not enough. Police officers that patrol the towns, cities, and states, state troopers, all of them will say, put my life on the line every day. I need an increase. I believe the fireman that goes into harm's way to put out a fire or to save a life will quickly say, we need an increase in income. Corporations, nonprofits around the world, certainly in North America, would agree that increase is needed. But I want to talk to you tonight about what I believe is a prerequisite to increase and getting ready for the avalanche, or however you want to determine the wealth transfer that's coming down the road. There are some things that we believe that we need to do now in preparation, because if not, when the increase comes, we'll send it back out of the door as quick as it came in. Now, this is not a real popular subject we're going to discuss tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but it's very necessary and very needed. And that subject is budgeting. Budgeting is not a dirty word. And for many, when you talk about don't spend it on this and don't buy that, wait a little while longer, don't do it right now, they feel you're getting into their business. And don't tell me how to spend my money. And that's not the objective tonight. The objective tonight is to get us to talk it over, think about it in preparation for it. Right? And here's why we say that. I can remember when I made $3.35 an hour. And some of you can remember you made a lot less than that per hour. And somehow or another, during that small amount of income, I managed. Before I got into this kind of work, I started making more money than 335. I made three or four times that years and years ago, and it still was tight because I was spending. As I made more, I spent more. We're going to look at that tonight. And there are 5 points here, what we call Did You Know? I'm not going to deal with all five for the sake of time, but I want to look at these two right here. 75% of Americans don't think they're going to save enough money to retire. That's 75%. That's the great majority. That's looking down the road, knowing it's coming soon. I'm going to leave the job for the last day. I'm going to hang my hat on the nail. And I don't think the 75% that they're saving enough money to retire with any degree of dignity. And then nearly half of all Americans expect to retire and still be in debt. Now, think about that. Think about how it feels for a great majority right now to have to go to work every day because there's a mortgage and all the things that go along with it. There's car payments and all the things that goes along with it. And a great percentage say, when I stop working, gonna still be in debt. Now we got to make some changes there. Now the question now becomes why? Why in the world, Ricky, should we create a budget? Well, number one, we want to get a grip on our spending. Number two, want to save for retirement or some other purchase. Number three, to know exactly where that hard-earned money is going every month. Number four, to avoid this debt trap. And ladies and gentlemen, debt can really and truly be a trap. The kind of trap to where the one that's caught in it can't see their way clear. And in their mind, they say things like, I'm going to owe as long as I live. They say things like, I'm going to the grave, owing somebody something. It's a mentality that now has become a mindset and acceptance. And ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't have to be. We're going to discuss 6 simple steps tonight to help create a budget and to free money up for that place called the future the place that we're going to be in for the rest of our lives is the future. And because of that, we got to make preparations because people are living a long time now. There are folks that are retiring and living 30 years on the other side, 35 years on the other side, 40 years on the other side of retirement. So we got to plan for the future. Step one is find out where the money should go. In an ideal world, there's an ideal budget. And the monthly income should be divided up into five main categories. Now, these five main categories have little subcategories as well. We won't discuss all that tonight for the sake of time, but it's important in our mind to know five main categories for spending our money. Number one is housing and debt, 30%. Taxes, 25%. Let's look at those taxes, 25%. Now, some people say, I don't believe we spend that much in taxes, Ricky. Well, it really is more than that. If you think about sales tax and property tax and gasoline tax and excise tax and vehicle tax, estate and inheritance tax, that's an average of 30 to 50%, depending on where you stay, that the average person pays in taxes altogether. Uncle Sam is going to get his off the top. You got insurance, 4%. Savings and investment, 15%. Living expenses, 26%. Now let's think about these living expenses. Let's drill down a little bit on that. We're going to come back and repeat that again on purpose. Living expenses, leisure, eating out, giving, family, transportation, ladies and gentlemen. These things can add up to a huge amount of money. So we got to take our time in preparation for increase because the majority looking for increase, vying for increase, and lobbying for increase. But when it comes, we've got to be ready for it. So we're going to gather the information that we need to get started, like bank accounts, investment accounts, power bill, water bill, cable bill. Gather all the information that we need to get started. And then note all the sources of income. What's coming into the home? What's in hand every 30 days from all sources? What kind of sources? We're talking about all that you see on the screen there right now. Salary, child support, pension, Social Security, disability, rental income, dividends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If it's coming to the home, it's money. And sometimes we tend to think that bonuses don't count. And many have jobs that give bonuses. And they say, well, I'm just not going to count that. I'm going to use that just for me. That's my money. We're going to enjoy that. No, don't do it. Because that can lead to something else. And how we do anything is how we do everything. Just don't do it. Create a list of monthly expenses: mortgage, rent, car insurance, home insurance, health insurance, life insurance, groceries, utilities, entertainment, educational savings. Everything you spend money on, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to put it on paper. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate and real detailed in an Excel spreadsheet or numbers. It needs to be something, it could be a yellow pad and a pen. The key is accountability and writing it down on paper. Now look at this right here. Monthly, like the home expenses, mortgage, put it on a bank draft. Second mortgage, bank draft. Taxes and insurance, bank draft. Utilities, power bill, gas bill. If you're up north, oil bill, water and sewer, cell phones, cable, put it on the bank draft. Because what it does, it helps with the FICO score because we don't take a chance on being late 30 days or 60 days. We don't take a chance on it being turned off. Because it's on a bank draft, it's consistent, it's automatic, and it improves the credit report and the credit score in a big time way. Then there's transportation, car or cars. If there's more than one car payment, do all you can to put it on a bank draft, gas, repairs, and there's that insurance again, life, disability, health, auto, put it all on a bank draft. Because we know these are things we have to have. We got to have insurance on the cars because if you get hit or hit somebody, well, really in many states, it's against the law not to have it. It should be against the law not to have life insurance, which is a whole nother subject, because if we die and don't have that in place, we leave our families in harm's way. Let's go a little bit farther. Credit cards. Credit card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put them on a bank draft. Student loans, other loans. Now, we got to be careful with those credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, because it's easy to get them, but it's hard to get rid of them. It's easy to say charge it. I'm going to pay it off this month. I'm going to pay it off next month. I'm going to pay it off when I get my income taxes. I'm going to pay it off with my bonus. And what happens? The bonus comes, the balance is still there. Income tax shows up, the balance is still there. We have to be intentional in attacking that debt. Then there's food, groceries, and dining out. And I want to pause right there for a moment because it's easy to spend, if not careful, just the same amount of money we spend at Kroger's and Winn-Dixie and Publix and Walmart for groceries, to spend that same amount at Applebee's and Old Charlie's, and thank God it's Friday, Ruby Tuesdays, Applebee's, Ruth Chris, all these areas to spend the same thing. So let's say you're spending $600 a month in groceries, $800 a month in groceries, and spend the same $800 a month eating out. It's going to cause a real deficit pretty soon. Children, child care, child support, alimony, tuition. Now, a lot of kids now are in private schools because some of the public schools have gotten pretty rough. And I went to a public school, of course. I'm saying now, in this day and time now, they've gotten kind of, it's not, well, let me say this way, it's not what it used to be. And so because of that, parents have opted to put their kids in private schools. And if you have that, you know that's not cheap. But that's a part of the budget. And if that is the case, we have to look at other ways and other means to cut the budget. Another area is personal care, grooming and medicine and toiletries and clothes and shoes. We got to be careful also with the grooming. You know, the other day I went to a massage therapist. Got a real good massage. Felt really, really good when I left there. But right at $100, right close to it, just 60 minutes. Boy, they gon' get all the knots out and massage your real. But when you get through, you're gonna pay for that, right? To get a nice hairdo. The women know what it costs now to get a nice groom, to include nails and pedicures and manicures. One of my family members told me that in Atlanta, a guy that goes to get a bald head just cut complete bald with all of the things they have to do and to the head and to, I don't know, all this stuff, hot towel and everything else. You can pay $300 for a haircut and the barber shops are booked up. Y'all hear what I'm saying now? We got to consider some of the things that are just niceties that we can cut out if we have to, getting ready for increase is the point that I'm trying to make here now. Pets, we got to feed our pets. The vet bills, grooming for them, entertainment, books and magazines, movies and concerts, hobbies. These things can really add up. It's important now to prioritize. Do I have to go to that concert by this, whoever the artist may be? Or can I this time just go buy the music? Can I watch something at home? Can I do something just to feel good from hearing the music other than spending this much money on a ticket, then also the food, then the travel and all that? We just got to think. This is not being nitpicky. It is saying, if I have a certain amount of income coming in right now and it's kind of tight, I'm looking for increase. Increase will show up and the income will disappear. Just that quick. Now, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. Discover where the money goes. Now that you've created a list of your monthly expenses, now there's a separation that's got to take place. There are categories. And so it's important then with these categories to look at the home and look at those that are in the home, bringing in the income, to have certain positions of authority. Somebody in that home is a CEO of that corporation called home. Somebody in the home is a CFO, the chief financial officer of that corporation called home. And in many cases, with single parents, you're the CEO and CFO. And those individuals have authority. And it's going to be important then for the one that don't have that authority, that knowledge, that ability to submit to the one that does. Now, but I use the word submit. Oh my goodness. That's almost a curse word nowadays, right? You are better at this than I am. So I yield this to you. I'm better at this than you are, so you should yield this obligation or responsibility to me. Now that's working together, ladies and gentlemen. That's not easy to do, particularly if you in this new generation. Okay, I got mine, you got yours. I work, you work, and this type of thing, and it causes a lot of problems, and that does not end up, in most cases, in a good place. Now, let's talk about these categories: fixed and variable. Fixed and variable. Let's look at where the money goes in the fixed area. Well, mortgage, rent, car, internet, credit cards, insurance, etc., etc. Those things are generally fixed. You can pretty much set your watch to them. It's going to be the same thing every month, with the exception of some of these cable bills and internet. You get this little extra $1 here, $2 there, but for the most part, it's going to be about the same every month. It's those variable expenses that's sneaky. We got to watch. Groceries, gas, entertainment, eating out, gifts, etc., etc., etc. Let's talk just a minute about eating out. It don't take long. You can spend $5 on a cup of coffee, and it's a cheap cup. It's $5, not a latte and then a white a mocha, none of that. Just a black cup of coffee, right? Depending on where you get it at $5. You go get a little light lunch, just a light lunch. That's $10. That afternoon, you decide to get you a nice healthy salad. That's $15. You're gonna do that every single day. Let's say 7 days a week. That's $900 a month eating out with one person. We're not even talking about the kids on the weekend. They want some pizza. They want to go play some games. They want to do this and that. We have not added that in. If you incorporate a whole family, it could really add up. It could get to $2,000 just like that, just that quick. So it's important then that we take our time and look it over. So that's the variable. Now, the next thing important to also look at: total up the monthly income and total up the monthly expenses. I know this sounds like elementary, Ricky. Come on now, this is not rocket science. I know it's not, but the majority don't think about it because life is life be lifing, and because life is lifing, we tend to forget about these things and just let them go by. So this meeting tonight is important to encourage us to pause, to chill, and to take our time and look everything over. Now, if the income total is greater than the expense total, you're off to a real good start. And we can take that extra money and put that money aside in the retirement savings, use that money to pay down some additional debt, pay down the Visa card, the MasterCard, the JC Penney's, the car payment, the house payment, house balance. Pay those things down. But on the other hand, if the expenses are greater than the income, it's time to make that change. And you are the ones that can do it. It's going to be important to look in the mirror, to look on the financial statement, look at the checkbook ledger, look at the bank statement and all the debit cards and that came out. Get a yellow highlighter. I mean, just go old fashioned. Get one of these yellow highlighters here and get that statement and look at all the times we swiped that card. And when you get that, print it out and highlight all the things that did not need to be spent money on, shouldn't have been spent on those things. You may be surprised how many yellow streaks are on that piece of paper. Now that's going to take boldness to do that. It's going to take courage to get that done. So it's really important. Find places you can cut back on, make adjustments. And that word adjustment is not a real popular word now, but it's a necessary word. You see, take a look at all the variable expenses. As I mentioned earlier, the variable expenses are the real sneaky expenses that can come in and catch a person by surprise. I'm gonna give an example of a young person that started out years ago, and he was doing real good when they started out. He's making a good income, she's making a good income. Let's just say these are two educators, and they both got advanced degrees, and they're making together high six figures, $150,000 a year. But when they got that last increase, they just started spending, upgraded to a bigger house, upgraded to a bigger car, that big body BMW that's got those sixes on the back. You can't rotate those tires, right? Just buy some new ones. And just kept rotating and kept spending. Got a whole new wardrobe. And that $150,000 a year went away so quickly They was in the same place they were in before they got any advanced degrees, making a whole lot less, but had a whole lot more pressure. That doesn't have to be. So in closing, I want to say this. I want to give you number 6. Keep up the good work. Now that you've created a budget, and I want to highlight the word created, because when you say created, it means you're bringing something about that wasn't there previously. Created. Now the budget has been created. Make sure you take the time to take a look at that budget at least one time a month, just to make sure you're staying on track. You see, the problem around the world is not, I don't know how to do it. It's being persistent and consistent in doing it. And in watching the enemy called procrastination. I'm gonna get around to it after my birthday. I'm gonna get around to it right after the 4th of July. I'm gonna get around to it right after winter comes in. When winter comes in, man, I'm on it. You turn around, it's a brand new year. So make sure you want to stay with it. Then take a few minutes also to compare your actual monthly expenses with what you've created. Now, I've created this game plan. I have this strategy, and it looks real good. Whether it's, again, a yellow pad, an ink pen, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or a numbers, if you're using an Apple product, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, total financial needs analysis, make sure that you compare what you created with what you really did. Okay? Now, it's going to be important now to be, well, brutally honest, and be so honest to where when it comes before you, nobody can say anything to offend you because you're doing this for you, and we're doing this for us and our families. Ladies and gentlemen, what this is going to do is going to show you the areas that you did real good in, and it's going to show you the areas that you got to improve. You see, every day we either getting better or we're going back. And as we get more increase, more income, we don't want to still be behind the 8 ball every single month. And here's somebody that's making a third of what somebody else is making, and they breathe easy every month, they rest easy every month, they're not under all this pressure and stress, and it causing all kind of effects in the home, in the body. Not having a budget can affect us in so many ways. I've seen people that I'm sure you have as well, that's doing real well for themselves and get up on the financial stress, and they say something at home that they can't get back, or they say something on the job to their supervisor that they can't get back, end up getting fired, it's a domino effect. It's a snowball effect. So why am I spending so much time talking about this thing called a budget? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's just important. It's just everything. And we don't want, and I want to say this again, what I said in the beginning, everyone wants to increase. But it's going to be important when increase comes, we're able to be a steward, a wise steward of the increase, or if not, it will go somewhere else. If we don't tell money where to go and what to do, money will decide where to go and what to do, and money will take its own trip to Dubai or wherever it wants to go, whether you agree with it or not. So we got to be in control of that. We got to be the one that makes the decisions on that, and we got to either say yay or say nay, and go home and go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you tonight. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it more than we can tell you. We encourage you to get with whoever brought you out tonight, and let's sit down and talk about putting together, if you don't already have this, a basic budget. There are many other things that we do as well, other than just putting together a budget. Somebody on the call tonight, on the Zoom call tonight, need to know about investing, need to know about rolling money over, need to know about having the proper limits of liability on your car and home, need to know about the importance of having a proper amount of dwellings on your home. Anything that you have that has to have coverage, it's important to have the proper limits, the proper amount, the proper dwelling on that item. Somebody needs to know how to have the proper amount of life insurance. Somebody else needs to know, how can I get a will and a living will and a durable financial power of attorney? All these things and more are available. Just talk with whoever brought you on tonight. If they can't handle that specific area, they know somebody in the company that can. Hey, look, y'all have a great rest of the night. We appreciate your time tonight more than we can tell you. Thank you again, and y'all take care. Thank you.